Hello everybody, welcome back to some Fallout 4. Picking up where we left off, we are still in the Malden area. Should be this way. And we're going to go to the Malden Middle School. And we must have went in here, right? Sure. And see how big of an area this one really is. If it's a smaller area, which seems unlikely, we'll also hit up the last place that's here in Malden, which is another medical something or other. But the odds that this is a short location is very little. Reasonably certain I've done this location a few times before, but it's been a while, and it's definitely not one that I do every time. I also don't know why middle school would have bars there. Well, that must lead down to the vault, probably. Alright, well, seems to be all the outside bit of it. Let's head to the basement. It's first week that I recorded Control during the week instead of this one, which means I have all 3 of my Fallout videos plus twin mirrors to record today, so my recording schedule is probably slightly lengthier than normal.
Is that what I think it is?
Well, that really depends on what you think it is.
Blue, we're not alone here.
No shit. That one's almost... Alright, well, let's just do that then. Okay. Good. Still another red mark, but... And it's moving, but it's lower, so they might have issues getting here. But yes, Piper, that is what you think it is, probably, because I'm assuming that you think it's a vault, which it is. It's Vault 75, I do believe. I don't really remember, like I said, too much about this one. But I imagine there was some weird experiments there. Although it is in a middle school, so that does hopefully limit the amount of experiments they could do. Because presumably it would have a higher child population than adult, which, depending on the adults, could end up being fairly bad. But it, yeah. Anyway. Why is there a sea captain's hat down here? That seems like a weird thing to be in the vault attached to a middle school. Yeah, well, the elevator does still work, but we'll see if there's... Okay, so I have a feeling then that those red dots were in the floor below and that there's no stairs then. Because they didn't come close. The textures are off, right? Like, that's not just me. Like, the texture's definitely off on it. Alright, let's see what we got. Vault-Tec has subsidized enrollment for Malden families. In response to growing national concern for the safety of our children in the event of a nuclear attack, Vault-Tec officials have cooperated with local government in Malden, Massachusetts, to provide subsidized enrollment fees for any families wishing to sign up for residency in Vault 75. The newly opened vault is attached directly to Malden's elementary school, ensuring a swift evacuation should an attack come during class time. Safeguarding the future has always been our priority, said a Vault-Tec spokesperson. The opening of Vault 75 gives us all extra peace of mind knowing that the children of Malden will be safe even if the worst comes to pass. Vault-Tec has authorized special discounts and subsidies for qualifying families. This special offer can only be extended to families meeting the following requirements. One or more enrolled family members or children under the age of 15. Enrolled children attend public school within the township of Malden. The enrolled group includes no more than 2 adults per qualifying child. Please note that Vault 75 also permits individual enrollment of children for families which cannot afford to also enroll a parent or guardian. Alright, so they were definitely trying to have this one be mostly kids. I mean, no more than 2 parents per kid, that makes sense, because if they did try to lower that number, I mean, people would definitely start to question it. Although, under threat of nuclear war, maybe they wouldn't. Upon activation of Vault 75, all residents must be subjected to standard admission protocols, details of which can be found in the Vault-Tec Personnel Handbook. Once residents have been verified and sanitized, children under the age of 17 are to be taken to the atrium area. There they will meet with the overseer who will provide orientation information specific to the children. All other residents are to be taken to the holding area to await their briefing from the head of security. Okay. Name, age, okay, so 13, 11, 6, 12, 12, 13, 9, 7. Available. Yes, yes, no, no, yes, 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 yes. Okay, so David and Michael, 6 and 12. The brothers apparently didn't make it into the vault, I guess. But the rest of them did. We got Briggs, Elliot, and Emery. Elliot is a dude's name. Emery, I think, could go either way. Got Steven and Ashley, and Caleb and Joey. So, at best, 2 girls and 4 guys. Wait, 1. Yeah, 2 girls and 4 guys. Possibly 1 girl and 5 guys, which, at these ages would be fine once they grow up. Alright. Button. Come on, Piper. Get in the elevator. I know you'll teleport down there eventually, but it's just easier for me if you're here. You almost stepped out, dumbass. Alright, let's see what they were doing in Vault 75. I mean, it could be brainwashing. I mean, kids that young, you could get them to believe anything. You could convince them that they were all super mutants. Because they wouldn't... Because they don't have the processing capabilities to, or the logic, critical thinking skills, to disagree with you. You could convince them that they're anything. Oh, Vault-Tec lunchbox. Hey, we got a Mr. Handy model. I think I already had one of those, but what else has he got? Burnt book, Grognak comic, burnt one. Alien, Piper.
What the?
Oh. Somebody heard something.
Get some!
Really? Did I not get the bonus on it or something? Okay, so I only saw 2 red dots while we were upstairs fighting, so that may have been all of them, but that seems unlikely, to say the least. I'm also not entirely sure where he, or what alerted him to us. It could have just been Piper. She's not the... Well, I was going to say she's not the stealthiest of companions, but sadly enough, she is one of the stealthier companions. Deacon, I do believe, has, maxed out stealth. If you're not detected, he's not detected. And then I want to say Piper and Kate might be, the next most stealthiest ones. Or at least Piper is. I don't know about the rest. But I know Deacon is the stealthiest one. And Strong, surprisingly enough, the super mutant is the least stealthy. Okay, so I need the lab card for there. And since neither of these guys had it, that means it's either around on a table somewhere, which it's a card, could be hard to spot, or there are more enemies. And one of them has it. So the fact that the lab is there, well, I guess it doesn't really mean anything. Like, a lot of vaults would have a lab. Apparently they're teaching anti-gravity things in this vault. I mean, that's clearly a mannequin in there. But I'm not seeing anybody else either. Does seem like a place for an ambush, though. What a noise to hear, right? Like that crunch noise when you blast somebody's head off. Like, imagine being close enough to hear that but not hear the gun go off. Like, you're just sitting there and all of a sudden you just hear crack. And like somebody's head is gone. It's like, the fuck just happened?
Lock and load.
Jackass.
Come on, we don't have to do this.
Let's rock.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
Oh, shotgun. There we go. You know what, let's get rid of some of this radiation I built up from the storm. Oh god, been playing, I think we talked about this last week. Still been playing Mad Max. Been, oh, sturdy combat armor. Alright, I'll take that. I'm playing the crap out of it. Almost done. Just have to clear Pink Eye's territory and then I'll probably
Well, if anyone could figure out a good
just
use
end,
for it.
stop the game because I don't really care about doing the last couple missions. I don't much care for the way they ended it. It's not so much what they did for the end of the game, it's how they went about it. Like, it's a Mad Max game. So, I mean, the ending of every Mad Max thing is pretty much the same, where, you know, he starts the movie alone, right? He finds people, he helps, and he helps them, but in the end, he's back to being alone. And I mean, they do the same thing in the game, which is fine. I mean, some people, I was reading some stuff online about it, and some people are like, oh, because it was supposed to be like a prequel to the Fury Road movie. It's like, no, they were very insistent when the game came out that it had nothing to do with the upcoming movie, that they used stuff from the movie, but that was it. It took place in the same universe, but it was very much a separate thing and didn't tie into the movie at all. Which, you know, a lot of people, I could understand if they didn't see like the press releases or anything, and they just played the game and watched the movie. I could definitely see why they would come across like that, because I mean, they have a whole thing, because Gastown is like the big location, like the big, as close to a city as you're going to get in the game, right? And Gastown is a place in the movie you don't see, but is tied to it, right? But the thing is that even if you do that, you know, like, you have the leader of Gastown in the game. Surprise, surprise, he's the final boss. And even bigger surprise, you kill him at the end. Shocking, right? You kill the final boss. And, you know, there's just, like, this other guy in the movie that's the leader of Gastown. And while I'm not saying that they couldn't get, or that they wouldn't immediately get another leader, because you don't really take over Gastown. But what they don't do is really theoretically have enough time. Okay, I don't know where to go now, because I got two different directions to go. I think I'll go the other way first. Between the game and the movie, like, if Gastown is that close, or close enough for their reinforcements in the movie to arrive when they do, that puts it relatively close, which means that Max would have got there relatively, or got to the Citadel, which is the main location in the movie. He would have got there rather quickly. Wait for it. There it is. And it counted as hitting those anyway. Wow, the bullet went right through him. Nope. You're not locking and loading at all. You're legendary. I'm going to take you out. The plasma gun. I wonder if that's my legendary equipment. Nope. But yeah, so big spoiler alert for the end of the Mad Max game. Coming up here. So mute me if you want to see what happens but don't want to hear about it. You partway through the game, you come across this woman and her kid that have been captured and are being sold as slaves. You help out the guy who has them held captive because you don't care. That's just a thing in that universe. Why would you? You end up she ends up helping you a couple times, and then you end up saving her. Not really on purpose, but you end up saving her. Later on, near the end of the game, in like the fourth last mission, maybe. And then you ask, and then she gets you, or asks you. You have like this whole like hallucination thing, where you marry her. Well, to be fair, where somebody with the head of your dog marries the two of you. And like you hallucinate your wife telling you to do it right this time. Anyway, before she got taken to the guy that you saved her from,
Nice.
Her daughter apparently got away with this other guy. I can't remember what. She just calls him the old man. You have to go rescue her. You go rescue her. Your mechanic betrays you and steals your car. So you get her back to her mother. And that's the end of the mission, right? And then your next mission starts with you finding your mechanic has been injured but not killed after he has taken your car. And then he tells you that he betrayed you again and gave up the location of the woman and the girl. So you go back, so you race back there, and you find that they've both been taken again. So you go to rescue them, and they've both been killed. Now, like I said, that sequence of events for Max to end up alone again, I'm fine with. If that's the way they wanted to do it, that's fine. My problem with it, though, is how quickly they did it. Like, it's literally Mission 1, save woman. Mission 2, get thing. Mission 3, save daughter. Mission 4, they're both dead. And then Mission 5, get revenge. I mean, you could say Mission 4, they're not both dead. But, it's during Mission 4 that they get taken and killed, so. Either way, there isn't enough of a build-up between them once she had... Like, there isn't much of a build-up between them anyway. Like, you interact with her a couple times beforehand to get some side missions, but there just isn't enough interactions to build up any kind of, like, a real connection with the two, or to build up any kind of connection between Max and the two, besides the fact that he sees them as surrogates for his own dead wife and daughter, Okay, so there's once a little girl named Sue and a little boy named Roy. Sue and Roy grew up in a very special place called Vault 75. They learned and trained and played there. How they trained. Sue and Roy were both growing up big and strong when one day Sue and Roy were asked to visit the Overseer. "What's wrong, Overseer?" asked Sue. "Why are you crying, Overseer?" said Roy. "It's just awful," cried the Overseer, wiping a tear from her eye. Have you children ever heard of Up Top Land? Sue and Roy blinked and shook their heads. What's that, Overseer? They asked. Oh, it's a terrible place, began the Overseer, and she told the children about Up Top Land. She told them about the people living there, and how they weren't safe or strong like the children of Vault 75. Monsters attacked them, and evil bandits stole their food, and it was no place for little children to grow up. No, not at all. Those poor people, exclaimed Sue. Why does nobody help them, wondered Roy. That's just it, children, the Overseer told them. They need somebody big and strong to protect them. Who will help them? Sue and Roy asked. One day, children, you will, said the Overseer. That's why you must do your best at classes and training every day so you can grow up big and strong and go make Up Top Land a happy and safe place for the poor people who live there. Sue and Roy smiled at that and ran off to their lessons, eager to help. Alright, K8. No file found. Alright. But T12, I don't know what this means. K8, T12, Team 12s? I don't know, because I don't know what Q8 would be then. And it also has a 4 instead of an A. Yeah, this one's just all fucked up. Alright, so that's weird. Okay, so then they were training the kids here. They were giving them, I imagine, advanced military training, stuff like that. And survival techniques and everything, so that they could then, take over the world, I guess. I mean, whatever's left of it up top afterwards. I mean, it's not horrible, depending on how they were teaching them to run things. I mean, because with kids that young, how you teach them to treat people or how they see you treat people. I guess in this context, it would be how you would teach them to treat people, because they wouldn't be seeing too many interactions between people who weren't well known to each other. So that would determine how they would treat people once they made it to the surface. I mean, a lot of comfy pillows in here, which is good. Weird picture for a kid's room, but whatever. The fact that everything here still seems to be children related is a little weird. Like they never really had much for adults. What am I supposed to? Admin access card. Okay, so I can't get in there. Surely you're not supposed to jump across the railings like that anyway. Alright, well, we did have that one more path to go. Can't remember where it was. How was that? Actually went in here, that just looped around there, that didn't do anything. Where was that other door I opened? Is it this? No, because this one just went upstairs. Ah, here it is. Vault-Tec lab coat. I do like the Vault-Tec ones, because I think the only real difference between the Vault-Tec lab coat and the regular lab coat is they have the little ID tags on them, which obviously isn't really a necessary thing, gameplay or in universe wise, but it's still just a nice little detail. Alright, going down deeper. See if we can find where they kept any adults. Another legendary gunner. I'd like that other one to come by, though. Come on, I heard you. So there's Piper behind me. Oh. I also like that with the incendiary one, like you pop their head off and it's just replaced by fire. Like
We're hot. You're dead.
All in one piece.
fucking blasted him in the corner, man. That was brutal. Poisoner's Disciples. Oh, a Disciples Blade. Wow, that's a good one to get. Target is poisoned for 10 seconds. Because, I mean, this is a Nuka World DLC weapon. So that's cool that we got
Who
that
knows,
already.
otherwise?
Sturdy Combat is what I have. But which ones did I pick up? Left arm and chest piece. Whoops. Take the left leg then. Alright, so now all I need is the right arm and leg for sturdy combat armor, which is good. I might have to do some upgrading after. Come on now. Plasma grenade. But anyway, I would still highly recommend. And the other thing with the Mad Max game, right, is because since it's like, you know, an open world game and there's a lot to do in it, you know, once you defeat the last boss, they do the thing where they put you back in the world. But I don't think that they put you back in the world with the last mission. Or like before you did the last mission. I'm pretty sure they put you back in the world after with the last mission complete. So that's a whole thing that we're going to have to deal with. Which is fine, except for the fact that because both, like during the final boss fight, minor spoiler again, the mechanic guy that's always with you dies during that, right? So because of that, and the fact that the woman that you rescue gives you side missions, once you finish the last mission, they put you back in the world, but then bring both of those people back to life. Which is another reason why I think that they didn't end it well. Because, like, if they're going to put you back into before you did the last mission, that'd be fine, but she's missing during the last mission, and so is your card, I will say. Like, when he betrays you and you have to, while you're rescuing the little girl, he takes the car, and you need to do the next mission to get it back. So, I mean, it's kind of like a big shocker, you know, where it's like, oh man, lost the mechanic, lost the girl, and then just they're both back. Now, granted, the woman that you rescue, well, the girl's not back, the woman is back. Now, granted, the woman you rescue, the only real thing that she has is
Starting course in 3, 2, 1, begin.
What?
I don't know. Was that it? Was that the whole course? Was shooting like 6 targets?
Last
I
mistake.
never just want to build your own little
Course completed.
Okay, so it is when they actually have to go through. Left arm, no. Right arm, yeah. Oh, that must be what's projecting the things. I wonder if I got the high score. I don't think you get anything for doing it. Oh, there we go. Lab access card. Okay, so that gives us the lab, but I'm assuming then that in the lab will be the admin card, because there was that other door. But anyway, yeah, so like, if they had changed the ending so that the woman and the mechanic lived, then putting you back in there, because I mean, like, the whole thing with Max, right, is he wants the car, or is he wants a car and enough fuel to drive across the Plains of Silence, right? Which, if you watch the movie, you actually get to see the Plains of Silence there. And so, I mean, they could very well have it be like, all right, you've finished off the guy who's been fucking you up. Now you can go around and do stuff to finish upgrading your car and get, and you know, they could have threw in like a wasteland mission, which is what they call the side mission. You know, like a mission or something to get the like the fuel tanks and that, because he wants to throw 2 giant fuel tanks in the back of the car, obviously, so that he can have enough gas to make it across the Plains of Silence. And oh, there's fucking bullets literally on the table. Let's see. Name topped y'all, eh? 25 seconds. So let's restart cores.